Good morning. All right, so what are we doing today? Something different, and something kind of going back to like 2 years ago when I first started streaming. This was a project that I was working on stream, and it's been down for a while. I um, went to make some changes and some things. Oh, right. So, the hosting provider I was using completely flaked out, and I gave up on them. And so there's the whole thing where it's like shifting it over, and then I started making some changes. This was a few months ago at this point, and so I have what is it? It's DailyJoule App. So this is a web app, right? So both front end and back end TypeScript web app. Nothing really fancy, but it would work for me, except that it doesn't work. Things are a little broken, and I have, at least I know one cause of that. So I thought what I'd do today is we're gonna spend a little bit of time working on this. You can see I last touched this like a month ago, tweaking some things. But I think the main thing is that I have on the server, I have some stuff that does validation of environment with Zod, and this is broken. Maybe this does not need to be as complicated as it is. It's like 3 different cases, because it's if we're running in on GitHub Actions, if we're like doing tests or whatever, continuous integration, CI. One case where this is a test environment, and then another case where it's not CI, and then the environment is one of these, right? So anyway, and there's some reasons why this is the way this is, right? So that like the production environment, it gets past a password file, and I think we are not doing that in other. So anyway, there's a bunch of like exception cases when I built this that kind of evolved over time, and I think something got broken, and we're gonna see. So I think the first thing I want to do, the thing that I've already done is just being able to run npm install. I had to do some things because NixOS is different to get Prisma to be happy. So we did get the npm install and post install stuff that calls Prisma generate. That's working. Yeah. Where from here? Well, probably a thing I will want to do is I want to look into dependency updates. But for now, so here's the kind of readme of the project. We have stuff about the mobile application. This is the thing that I was playing around with like a couple months ago with Copilot coding agent, and it made a really good start, and then I kind of lost interest in working on it and ran into some roadblocks. Funny how those things go together. But yes, so I think what I should be able to do is I should be able to use our Docker Compose to run everything locally. What is this going to depend upon that I'm not providing is a question, right? So it's expecting there's going to be a secrets here, and we're saying we're going to pass a secret, and it's going to have these files. So do I have said files in .. Postgres password? Nope. So I was wondering, because I have DailyJoule here. Two instances of this folder that I copied over from Windows. That's the other part of this, right? Is that I've not actually worked on this project since I switched to Linux. And we're going to see what I'm missing. So in here, there's also a Docker Compose. Does it also refer to, yeah, ... I don't have a, okay, so that's on Windows. So let's go, what is it? Run media, save in. Oh, where was this project? Ooh, I don't even know if I want to list star.txt. Is there a next auth? There is. ls star dash secret dot txt ls, not cat. Okay, Discord secret and next auth secret are there. So let's move star slash dash secret dot txt to with documents, my repos, DailyJoule, except it needs to be one directory above for the current paths. So put that there. I can't move. Copy. Cool. Where is Postgres password.txt? I mean, the password's just going to be Postgres, so we'll just make a file. Yeah. Yeah. It's about to launch VI. All right. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but kind of silly to do that from inside of an editor, right? Oh, right. I listed star dash secret, but this is dash password. Okay, anyway, it's just Postgres. Cool. Right, so will it blend? So this is an internal IP that I think still applies to B. I don't know. What is my IP address here? Can I do that in a way that's not gonna... Let's see. Let me launch a terminal. Many network interfaces. Which one am I looking for? 142. Aha. Interesting. Okay. I should probably... Yeah, that's fine. Unlike a lot of the projects that I've worked on stream, this one is not actually publicly available presently. It is a private repo. I don't have obviously it's not something that I've turned into a commercial product or like a service or whatever, and even if I did, I don't know. I think at the time I didn't really know where I was going to go with the project, but also I think I was just concerned about like how would I even have a project where this is something I'm deploying. This is like I have deployments, it's connected to like servers. How would I do that in a way that's not going to like, is it really worthwhile to try to have a public repo and then have it be something where I deploy and have to worry about like not leaking secrets and things like that. Although I did start this project before I even started streaming. Like this was a project that we kind of jumped into when I started streaming that I had already been working on. So yeah, anyway, all that to say that this could be something that I could make open source in some capacity. Or maybe look for like libraries to extract or something. Anyway, so if I just run all services, does this work? This is a question, right? Can we run this thing locally? Compose can now delegate builds to bake for better performance. To use so, set compose bake to true. Okay, I could do that. So things started, and if I go over to the containers tab here, I don't want to connect to registry. I could, I don't want to do that. We can see some of my experiments over here with Mastra. We can see my Minecraft server and some local stack stuff I was doing. So backend, if we view logs, there we go. Cool. So we are failing for reasons, and I guess we're gonna just troubleshoot. Is what we're gonna. That's gonna be this stream probably. It's just like iteratively troubleshooting over all the problems that we see. So what happened? Okay, so it tried a few times, so it's like cycling the same errors. It'd be cool if we could not get that warning from Biome. And figure out what's probably. I know there was a thing where I'm using the NixOS package for Biome, and it's older than the latest. Might be an issue. Okay, I thought I turned that off. Okay. All right, so it's the same one over and over again, right? Yeah, so it does npm install. This is the backend repo. I think I'll focus on the backend for now because I know there are some issues there. And obviously there's one. So when we try to do npm start, right, so let's go look at the backend. How is it defined? We use dockerfile.dev, and we attempt to do npm install, npx prisma generate, and then we cd into the server folder and run npm start. That's what we're doing. And all of that works until the last thing. I might just disable that if it's going to keep on pestering me. All right, so npm start fails when we are in the context of, okay, so we cd into server, volume dot is app. So let's see what dockerfile.dev does. Okay, so it's just node 18, node 18 Alpine. We probably want to use a newer version of Node. Let's update to 24. Legacy key value format with whitespace characters should be equal sign. So we'll update that as well. And all this really does is it says, okay, well, we're going to take node 24 Alpine as we're going to label it base. And then we're going to take that base image and label it runner. That, like, the only reason to do this is to like leave open the possibility of like doing other things with this. Workday app, right? So here we map the current directory to app, and then we override the node modules inside of app with an empty volume that'll be provisioned for it. And then we expose port 3000. We set the environment variable port to be 3000. So when we cd into server and do npm start, we are working in the context of this folder, actually. Okay, and so npm start, there's not a package.json in, no, there is. Neat. Okay, so we're using this script, ts node esm server.ts. And there is a server.ts, but it says unknown file extension.ts for app server server.ts. So what is TS node ESM to me these days? I think people are using TSX now, right? Instead of TS node. Okay, TSX. Do we want to just try TSX instead of TS node ESM? Let's see. Actually, before I do that, are we using this anywhere else? Okay, package lock has a copy of that. The seed option in our top level package.json refers to this. So presumably somewhere we were referring to TS node as a dependency. Right here. Okay. 3 years ago. So let's just try to switch everything. What if we just did this? What's in seed.ts? I think it doesn't really matter. I don't think I ever put anything in seed.ts. Some things. Okay. tsx server.ts. Do we will this be better or worse? Let's see. So is this okay? It has been continuously trying to restart, and apparently it started. That's nice. What about the front end? View logs. Okay. So what port do I actually need to connect to? Because I need to connect to the front end. The front end is also on port. It's all 3000. All right, so localhost :3000. Okay. Well, we're as far as we got with the actually deployed version. Let's log in. This will take me to Discord, which doesn't work because I think in the interim I think I just took the existing local dev app maybe. Ooh, or the redirect URI for Discord is wrong. Let's see if I can change that without having to. Let's see, developer portal. Without having to show secrets. Get started. Okay, great. Why don't you just take me there? DailyJoule. I can have an icon. Actually, I might have an icon in the folder. Assets maybe? No. Client. Public. There are icons. You want 1024 by 1024? Okay, well I can do this one. That doesn't exactly look right. Let's see, do I have okay. Maybe in components? Assets? Nope. This is fun. Okay, well, I guess we're gonna go with that icon then. And nothing secret here, which is fine. Let's save this and then go to OAuth 2. And then, yeah, my local IP address here is changed. So this should be that. There we go, and save changes. And then we go back. We refresh and we log in. There we go. And then it asks if, you know, it's okay that this application should be able to see my username, avatar, banner, and email address, which I'll authorize. Yay, it's broken. Also, let's make this window narrower so we don't see so much of that URL in the bar. Okay, token error. Fun. Okay, so let's we don't need to sit in front of logs. What happened in the back end? Oh yeah, well. Oh right, we have not hey Moody Abigail, thank you for the lurk. Happy Sunday. We've not actually stood up the database. We have like not even we have an empty database. We haven't used Prisma to create tables or anything. Do we have tasks? Prisma migrate dev. What are the chances that this will actually work? Yeah, that's not gonna work. Let me do that from the command line manually. I think if I were to close and reopen VS Code, I did install. So let's see, Nix. Yeah. So there is a Prisma Engines package for NixOS. And when I initially did npm install, I used this to get a shell that has these things. I did go back and change my system configuration and do a rebuild, but I think maybe the shell environment that VS Code is running in doesn't see that. I think that's what's going on. But anyway, so npm, what are the packages? What was it? Let's see. Let's just look at package.json. So many things. npm run Prisma. Maybe it's just Prisma migrate. Nope. Migrate dev. Database URL not found. Yes. We have to set the database URL. So we need to export database database URL equals, do something like Postgres. It's on an exposed port, right? So that I can get to, yeah, 5432. So let's just localhost 5432. And then it's a database name, which is just gonna be DailyJoule. ULE. And we do need a username and password, which is just Postgres. There you go. So it applied the migrations. So it that doesn't seem right. Oh, it sees things in the schema file that I did not create a migration for, right? So I must have some newer things that let's take a look in Prisma migrations. The last migration was from June 18th. Interesting. That added the friend request model SQL, but there's something else in schema.prisma that's not in there. What could have that been? Let's do this. Let's do migrate, and this will give us a set of commands, and we will diff. Does that do anything? No. Okay, so how do I... Yeah, we got to provide a from and to. Oh, maybe there's just a better command than doing this, right? Do we just... Maybe it's just status? Or... Maybe it's just status. Okay, well now it thinks it's up to date. So what did migrate dev actually do? Creates a migration. Oh, I see. So this would have been to create a migration from changes in Prisma schema applied to the database trigger. But I don't understand. How do I know what this would be? Let's do this. Let's just try this. It's going to, I guess, prompt me for the new migration. I'll call it test. What did I change in test? So this alter table friends, add constraint friends AB P key, primary key AB. What? What is this underscore friends table? Huh. Okay. Okay. Well, let's take a step back here. Okay, so this is what I have been doing. Can we... Okay, validate format version, debug, init. Manage your database schema and lifecycle. So db help. Okay. So we have pull, push, seed, execute. Pull the state of the database to the Prisma schema using introspection. Push the state of the Prisma schema to the database during prototyping. Seed, execute. Oh, okay. So Prisma dev push would be to like experiment with stuff without locking in a migration. So how do I remove a migration? I suspect that I can't. Hold on, let's do this. Let's delete this. And we're going to go back to here, and it's like reset. That'll just reset the database. Couldn't spawn tsx prisma seed.ts is interesting. I didn't run npm install. Oh, maybe I haven't run npm install since I had a tsx. Yes. Let's also run npm audit fix. We can't upgrade Quagga because breaking changes. But what did that do? Change 3 packages. Okay, that's fine. And good. Okay, so that all works now. this is the main thing I want to do today, is just like run through all the like dev task stuff, get the thing running, of course, but also like work out all the kinks and all the cruft from this, not being really attended to in quite a while, and hopefully we can get the actual web app in prod working today. So we'll see. Okay. What else? All right. So that just reset. Like, I removed the migration, but we do have changes in the schema that are not reflected in the migration. So can we... What is this? Toggle file blame or heat map? Maybe heat map? Yeah, this friend request stuff is new. New. 2 months ago. So unique sender ID, receiver ID. Interesting. I'm just trying to understand why. Okay. It says database schema is up to date, so I guess things are fine. We are going to move on. Okay, so now we have a database. We will refresh this page. I think how can I troubleshoot this? What's going on here? Right, so let me just go back to the start. There we go. And we can see backend requests. That's fine. And then authorize. And that takes us through the OAuth flow. And then we get this call to auth callback Discord with the code that we use combined with the app credential to be able to attempt to do the OAuth flow. And we get just token error. So let's look at auth callback Discord and figure out what's going on there. So that is in server. Here is our server. Auth callback Discord is this bit right here. It calls passport authenticate. Authenticates requests. Applies the named strategies to the incoming request in order to authenticate the request. If authentication is successful, user is logged in and populated at rec.user, and a session will be established. And then it has some options, right? Of which we're just passing failure redirect right now. Failure message, failure flash, success message, success redirect. Which I guess technically means that I just need to pass success redirect of slash here, and we can get rid of this. I'm not going to change anything right now, though, but I don't have to. Assign property, assigns the object provided by the verify callback to the given property. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I mean, it's possible. Is it possible that the secret that I have is not correct? Well, uh, sadly, I have not brought over my uh, secret obfuscation masking thing from OBS from Windows, so I'm just going to move over to a separate window and go look at the Discord secret. And then we also need to look at Docker Compose because I think the token ID is also realizing if I tab that you'll be able to see that in the thing. All right, so the Discord client ID is supposed to be this. If we go over here, this is the, I mean, presumably it is because we saw that when I changed the OAuth to redirect, it did work, and it didn't work before, right? So 7062, yeah, that's that. The client secret might be a thing. It might be wrong. So let me borrow this window for a moment. Reveal secret. Yes, do it. Oh no, because that regenerates the secret. That's reset secret, not reveal. See, it says right there, reset secret. It doesn't say reveal. That's you know, me imagining things. Okay. Well, what then? I could connect to the server and look at the secret there and see if it is the same or different. Let's try that. Yeah, this, at least this far, won't show anything that's not publicly available information. It's not like the IP of the server is a secret, since it is, in fact, a publicly accessible server with a domain name. So I can get somewhat close here. All right. Didn't I just do this? Oh, I haven't rebooted yet. Let's see. So I need to be root. Also, for some reason, this web-based terminal likes to eat my characters. See? All right. Infrastructure secrets. All right. Oh, that's as far as we can go. So I'm gonna move this over off to a different screen, and we'll view the secret. Is it the same or is it different? It is different. Yay, that makes sense. I must have regenerated it at some point. Cool. All right, so now that's fixed, and I will disconnect from the server and close that tab. And so, what next? We need to restart the container. Compose, restart. Just restart the whole thing. View those logs. What is this? What is the sound? Late night at 5 a.m. Okay, well, let's give it a shot. Maybe it'll be okay. I'll get somewhere. All right. So, invalid. Yeah, it's an invalid code now. That's why I'm not worried about like actually thinking about it a little bit, because I know I made the remark of like, oh, the URL having the code or whatever, but I don't think it does you any good without the secret to be able to talk to Discord. There we go. What's fun is we can get that far without the secret. But yeah, so now we can log in. We can get the diary, terms and conditions. Yep. That was an AI provided feature, by the way, using Coding Agent. It was on my list of things in the backlog for this project for things to do before I could make this like an actual thing that could be available for outside of my personal use, essentially. All right, so we've gotten this far. Unfortunately, we've not encountered the issue that's happening in prod, which is with the environment variables. Why is that? Well, we have a bunch of different exception cases, right, where the validation works differently. So I think what we should probably do is change the environment variable validation to be simpler, so it's like there aren't different cases for different environments, because then we can't, reproduce the issue. The other thing that I'm seeing here is that there's supposed to be a thing where you can actually enter your calories, like your meals. Oh, wait. This is just because I've not configured for my account meals. Fun. Okay, and this is broken too. I'm not able to enter. Okay, so I think the diary is just broken because we don't have meals yet. Settings is broken for some reason. We'll have to troubleshoot. We now have a friends area. This is new. This year that I don't think works. Oh, look, I can search. I can send a friend request. Is that's me, right? No, because I don't have so the user that I just found was the seeded user that was created by the Prisma seed.ts. And so we sent a friend request. Okay, and then we should definitely be showing. Okay, so lots of things to fix. But for now, let's focus on this page. All right, so let's hide that. Well, we will. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna create a file. All produce. Okay. Simplify invalidation. Fix user profile. All right. Oh. env schema is where this is all at. And can we make this, how can we make this simpler? So a piece of functionality we have here is we have a thing where if we are not in a continuous integration environment and the node environment is not test, then we attempt to read the Postgres password file. Right. I think the whole purpose of this was to make it so that we didn't need to provide a file when we are running unit tests. I think that's what this amounts to. Although I don't know that I care. This is 3 branches. One of things that we do only in test environment. All right, so in CI, we also don't have a base URL. In test, we have a base URL that's optional, but we allow weird things. I think what I want to do is get rid of this. Get rid of this being a URL. It's just a string that's not optional. We get rid of the ability to pass explicit secrets instead of the files. We still have database URL because we're going to add it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of all of this. Right, so it's just going to be z.object. And then super refine. And then we don't need this case. We should always have these things. Oh, right. So then, ooh. Think about this. So property Discord client secret does not exist on this type, right? So env here. Yeah, I mean, I guess. Okay, in that case, let me. Oh, I don't want to go back that far. I'll add it by hand. Right. So, this is. Yeah, sure. Sentry would be. We could add Sentry at some point. Secrets that we read from files. Kind of weird, right? Because we're essentially describing what so this is less so much describing what environment variables we accept and more of like what is the outcome of parsing all the environment variables. Yeah, I guess this is fine. It's basically what we had but simpler, which is good. And then what I'd like to do is restart everything again and make sure that the backend comes up with this change. This is probably going to break other things, right? Because now what am I trying to say? Okay, it started. Because the GitHub workflow stuff is probably going to break, or our ability to run tests, right? So if I run npm test, does this even do anything? I have no idea. How many fail? Okay. So let's create a branch. Create a new branch. I'm still waiting for the thing where we get an AI like generated branch name. Anyway, so the stream fixes 2025 08 24. Why not? All right, so what are we changing here? So we did some stuff to switch to TSX, so we can capture that as a commit. We made some changes to the Docker file for dev and switched to Node 24. we I don't care about that. That's not really a change. I know I'm kicking the bucket on that. I guess the next time I do a database migration, I'll probably include that with that, because it'll, this is a newer version of Prisma changed how they, structure the output of this file, right? So what changed in Docker Compose? We changed this base URL. So I was just thinking that I went on this thing talking about like how the project is private and how it was like that and that sort of thing. But I think the thing that prompted that tangent was it's kind of weird, right? My other projects, when I push stuff up, I'm not necessarily putting like the IP address of the server, like the computer I'm working off of, on my LAN locally into projects, because they're open and someone else would clone it and it would be like just something someone would have to change. But it's fine. It's very convenient for me. And then we are consolidating, simplifying configuration, and removing special conditions, right? So that's what we're currently working on. And the question is, did that change break any of our tests? So trpc API integration test.ts had a failure. Do I think these tests are any good? What is the point of this test? This is testing that okay, it's creating test client. It is calling test utils, and then it is calling it is actually calling the trpc procedures of the backend directly, like not through like API calls, but just like directly invoking those procedures, which could be fine. It's kind of like in a more complex app, I would probably have like a layer of abstraction between like the trpc functions and then the database, right? So like right now, if you look at one of these functions, like get monthly calorie data, there we go, right? So it is just one layer where it's like, here is the API surface, and here is calling to the database through Prisma, right? So it's just this one layer, and we have like some SQL and stuff in here, right? So, and for this size of app, that's fine, but it makes it challenging. Like, how do you do a unit test, right? How do you do a unit test of this procedure? Like maybe you take this function and that lives separately, but it's still calling Prisma, and you're gonna mock Prisma. If you do like API layer test, then yeah, you can test all of this through calling the API, but you also need to have an actual database that Prisma is hooked up to, and it probably needs to be Postgres, because like things are set up for that. We have raw SQL with Postgres, maybe specific syntax. So that's not a unit test at that point. Yeah, so I think there's some value in this because we can so this is interesting. I mean, this still needs a database. It's still providing a database, presumably, in the whatever's running this. So I'm not sure, actually, if this is any more valuable over just, like, calling, like going over the network, like running a server. If you're gonna have to run a database anyway, you might as well run the TRPC server itself and then call that way. Anyway, where did this fail? Okay, failed a suite, right? In server env.ts. Process exit 1, right? So, all right. So if you import this file, you will cause the process to exit, right? Because it just simply loading this file will do a thing. I have a thought. There is a... Is there a thing in JavaScript now? JS. That's not the right word. Property accessors? All right. Well, Twitch wants to run ads, so we're going to take a break here for a few minutes. And when we come back, more digging into this web app and trying to get it properly working again. So be right back.